It's Luke Howard live at lunchtime. Woo! 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 Thank you. Woo! 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 Thank you very, 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 very much. Hello. Welcome to Britain's brightest, best radio show. It's Friday the 29th of January, the last Friday of the month. Oh my God, last weekend of January. Where is the time gone? February is round the corner, which can only mean one thing. My birthday is only 12 days to go. Actually, yeah, 12 days to go until my birthday. Blimey, 12 days to go until my very birthday. I always have a countdown for my birthday, but we'll talk about that nearer the time. But for now, yes, it is the last weekend in January. Oh my God, February's going to be here any moment. So on Monday, it shall be February the 1st. Oh my God, I just don't know where the time's gone. I really don't. I hope everyone's well and is looking forward to the show today. We've got a fantastic show for you all. Woo! And we're going to be talking about some news. I want to talk a little bit about the COVID, bring COVID back on the show a little bit, because I just want to talk about a little bit about COVID. You can hear the messages going off on the show. Yeah, loads of messages on this show. You can hear, we're going to talk a little bit about the COVID thing on the show in a little while, and we're going to talk a little bit about something else, and we're also going to talk about national days, and I want to talk about something different on the show, famous people's birthdays, and we're going to take a little look at that, because I want to go into a little bit about it, and talk a little bit about a neighbour's birthday. Neighbours' birthdays. I keep thinking neighbours' gardens, but mate Michael, God, I'm not going to go there. But anyway, so we're going to talk a little bit about that on the show today, and lots of other things as well. We're also going to be playing lots of great music, and if you want to get in touch with the show, please do, if you feel free, please do feel free to get in touch if you would like to. It's GaryJHoward68@hotmail.com, and there's another email which is 345-457@student.hrc.ac.uk. You can also find the show on Instagram, the fan page. You could also find the fan page on Instagram. It's the Luke Howard fan page, and you could also use hashtags #Luke Howard, #Luke Howard Live, and #Luke Howard Live at lunchtime. It'd be great to hear from you. It really would, and it's lovely to have your company as always on the show. It really is, and it's so great. I love this show. I love it. Live it, as they say in Ireland. I live it. I absolutely love this show, absolutely amazing. I love you, dear listener, as well. And it's me sitting here with my cup of tea and browsing through the news and talking about it in my very own little way. I'll just mix it up and do it in my own little way. But, yeah. Okay, so let's talk about then what's in the news today, because it's really got to in the news today. It has really got to me, and it's made me go, oh my God. You know, it's made me go, oh my God, I'm just going to have a little look, and I'm going to have a little word with you lot about it, and see what we can go up with. So the new COVID vaccine has been shown to 89.3% effective in large scales in UK trials. The Novavax jab is the first, and it's to show trials that is effective against the new virus variant found in our very country. The BBC, the news programme's medical editor, and his name's Fergus Walsh, he said the PM welcomed the good news, and he said the UK's medicines regulator would now assess the very good vaccine. The UK has secured 60 million doses of the jab, which is also going to be made in Stockton-upon-Tees in North East England, which is right up north. It's nowhere around my area. It's right up north. But it's the UK secured 60 million doses of the jab, which will be made in the Stockton-on-Tees in North East England, which is right up north, as I said. And the doses are expected to be delivered in the second half of this very year, if approved for the use by the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, MHRA. Now, the UK has so far approved that 3 corona vaccines for emergency use, one from Oxford University and AstraZeneca, another is by Pripsy and BioNTech, and a third is from drug firm Moderna. The Novavax jab, which is given 2 doses, is going to be shown to be 89.3% effective at preventing COVID-19 in participants. in its phase 3 clinical trial in the UK, and around 86% effective is preventing against the new UK variant. The phase 3 trials of the final stage before a vaccine is by a regulator enrolled for more than 15,000 people aged between 18 to 84, of whom are 27% who are older than 65 years, which is the US from Knoxville. It's also said in the South African part of the trial is where most of the cases were the South African variant of the virus. The vaccine was 60%, and then it was also effective among those without HIV. Now, the State Chief Executive Novak said the results from the UK trial, they were all spectacular and as good as we could all have hoped, while the effects rate in the South Africa was above people's expectations, as they say. They told a news programme that the manufacturing plant in Stockton-on-Tees should be up and running by March or April this very year, with the company hoping to get approval for this very vaccine from the MHRA around the same time. Now, Minister Lucy Fraser told a news programme that the government could be put on an expert focusing on this which could be approved as the regulation process is out of our control. Now, the Prisons Minister added the NHS would be ready to spread the jab into the people's arms as soon as supplies become available. Now, the Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, who we all know very well, he said the new vaccine would be another weapon on the arsenal, which is to beat the awful virus if approved. Now, thanking the researchers and volunteers who took part in the trials, he added that I'm proud of the UK at the forefront of another medical breakthrough. Now, Professor Paul Heath, the chief investigator of the UK Novichok trial, said the findings of the clinical trial were enormously, and it was enormous, people, absolutely enormous, really big. It was absolutely enormous, and very huge, and the protection, and it was exciting as well, extremely exciting, and particularly because of the jab's eventual agent against the UK variant. Now, Peter Ormsey, Professor of the Environmental Medicine at the Imperial College London, he said that the findings that the vaccine gave high levels of protection in the UK. Part of the very trial that is going on right now was where it was excellent, but the lower level of protection seen in South Africa was a very bad concern. Now, the extremely encouraging trial results suggest another powerful vaccine against corona could soon be within reach. Now, it works in a significant different way to ones that are already available, but does the same job of teaching the body's immune system to recognise and fight the pandemic virus. But it was also more if it appears to be effective against emerging, and it was more infectious variants of the corona too, and something scientists have feared might not be possible because the vaccines were all diagnosed to match the original virus, not those new versions. The protection against the illness from the new UK variant was high at around, actually, do you know how high it was? Around 86%. Can I say that? Yeah, I'll just say it anyway. Around 86%. Now, even with the South Africa variant, which was undergone, and the most worrisome changes if offered the level of protection similar to be given by flu shots against influenza. Now, England's Chief Medical Officer, Chris Whitty, of course, he said the jab is approved. It increases the future resilience against the virus. The UK government minister responsible for the vaccine rollout said that he was particularly thrilled to see the positive results, as he had taken part in the Novichok trials himself. Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer, he described the trial results as fantastic news, but it was also one more step towards getting Britons vaccinated. Of course, everyone needs to get vaccinated in this country to get the virus, to beat the virus and get it taken away. Now, have you got a video about how it works? How to get approved? Can we watch it? Can we put it on? Yeah, let's put it on. Just put it on. Here it is.
The reason why a COVID-19 vaccine has come around so quickly is because a lot of money and resources have been thrown at it. These are all the steps normally taken to create a safe and working vaccine. It usually takes at least a decade to complete them all, but with COVID, they've all been done in less than a year. So as is the case with all medicines, a vaccine goes through extensive and rigorous testing before it can be approved and rolled out to a country's population. Before any testing happens in humans, the vaccine is tested on animals in a laboratory. In the case of COVID-19, ferrets, mice and monkeys have all been used. That's because they're similar to humans in their physiology and biology. If the vaccine works and is safe for animals, clinical trials begin. Phase 1 trials involve giving the vaccine to a small number of healthy volunteers, between 20 and 50 people. Here they're looking at safety, to check it generates an immune response, and to determine the correct dosage. Phase 2 trials involve several hundred volunteers and look at how effective a vaccine is in humans. This group involves adults of all ages and sexes, and ideally all ethnicities. Phase 3 trials are similar to Phase 2, but they involve several thousand volunteers. They're still looking at how effective the vaccine is, but on a much broader scale. Usually these clinical trials run one after another, with time given for the data on how safe, effective and stable the vaccine is to be looked at, and to make a decision about whether the trial should progress to the next stage. But because of the seriousness of the COVID-19 pandemic, these phases sometimes overlapped. Some were even merged, but all the checks that would normally happen were still being done. Countries have been so keen to find solutions that money has been thrown at organisations to recruit more scientists to work around the clock and to hire more staff to help find volunteers more quickly. And because COVID-19 has been so widespread, finding volunteers to test the vaccine on has been easier than in other trials. When enough data has been gathered, it's submitted to a country's regulators for approval. Scientific and clinical experts review it to see how effective the vaccine is, how safe it is, how stable it is, its quality, and check that it's being manufactured and stored in a way that meets safety standards and public health policy. In the UK, this is the job of the MHRA, the Commission on Human Medicines, and even members of the public are asked what they think. Normally this happens after all the trials have ended. But in the case of COVID-19, the UK's regulatory body was being given data as the trials went along. This is called a rolling review. If a vaccine is then approved, it can be given to a wider population, but the regulators keep monitoring health records and data on anyone who gets one, the same as for any vaccine or medicine. And every batch of the vaccine that is made is checked for purity and quality before it's sent anywhere.
Is that making sense now, is it? Is it making sense? In total, the UK has ordered 100 million doses of Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine and the 40 million of Pepsi vaccine, which was both of which are currently being rolled out in this very country. Another 70 million doses of the Moderna vaccine, which was approved by the MHRA in early this month, are expected to be back out again in the spring. The aim is to give everyone in the top 4 priority of up to 15 million people of the first dose by mid-February, which is next month. We'll keep you updated about that anyway. But the British and majority of vaccines rely on technology that has been used in previous vaccines, but the Novacare jab was a more traditional method of recreating part of the spike protein of the virus to stimulate the immune system. Now, like the Oxford vaccine, as we said earlier on, the Novacare jab can be stored at regular fridge temperature, which means it can be distributed more easily. Now, there are millions more people, we're not going to talk about that, but we're going to move on now, because more than 7.1 million people in the UK have so far received a first dose of COVID vaccine. My nan and granddad, they had the COVID vaccine. We spoke about this on the show. I don't think I've actually said this yet. Have I said this on the show yet? I haven't, have I? My nan and granddad, they've had the vaccine, they've had their first one, and they even had their second one as well. So, well done to my other nan. She's having her second one, not in next month, but the month after, in March. So, my nan and granddad, they've had their vaccine, and I'm so, do you know what? I'm so proud of them for having it done, because we can now go around there because they've had the vaccine, and I'm so proud of myself that we can go around there now because they've had it. So I'm very happy that my 82, I'm really glad that my 82-year-old nan and my 83-year-old granddad have both had the vaccine. They're over 80 years old, and I'm so glad that they were first. They were basically first in the queue because they had theirs. They were very, very good. So, nan and granddad, love you both, and I envy you both for having it done. Okay, I think we'll leave that story there now, I think, because I want to move on to one more story now, and that is Bridgerton Netflix. There's a new drama, and it's set to be the biggest series ever. Apparently it's going to be even bigger than Downton Abbey, but that's the only series that I ever really saw. That I really stuck to. I never really stuck to anything else, so I've never seen it. But stars of a period drama of Bridgerton have thanked fans after Netflix announced that the show had become its biggest series ever. The streaming giant said 82 million households around the world tuned into the show. But why can't it be on normal TV? Why has it got to be on Netflix? If you're like me and don't watch Netflix, I mean, I ain't got Netflix, but Why would they put everything on there? I haven't got it. My sister's got Netflix, but I ain't got it. So I don't even watch TV upstairs. So I don't really have Netflix. But apparently Netflix is one of the biggest things in the whole wide world at this very moment. But the show hit the #1 spot in 83 countries, including the US, UK, India, France, and Brazil. Now, Bridgerton, to start, Phoebe described the news as ultra insane. Ultra insane, she said. She said, I'm so proud of the incredible team behind the show, and thank you guys for loving it. The 25-year-old actor who played Daphne Bridgerton, who wrote on Instagram that whose performance as love interest of